Hello class, a very pleasant morning to all of you. Today, I Richa Parekh from St. Thomas High School, Mahua, am here to further continue with the subject of social science for the students of class 8th. My dear students, during the previous lecture, we started the topic of literacy. The development of any country depends on the literacy rate of that country. The amount of the population which a country has depends on the development, that how much literate the human population is. Literacy is the most important criteria to measure the standard of living of the population and its social development. It is also the key to the economic development of any nation. The definition of literacy was fixed at the time of census of 1991. According to it, any individual who is 6 years or above and who can read, write and understand any one language may be considered as literate. The literacy rate in India has been increasing consistently, which is a positive sign. So, what is literacy first of all? The definition of literacy was fixed at the time of census of 1991, and it was declared that any individual, any person who is above 6 years or of 6 years who can write, read and understand at least one language is considered as literate, and hence the literacy rate of India has been consistently increasing, which is a positive sign, because literacy is a key to the economic development of nation, and it is also an important criteria through which the standard of living of the population and the social development can be measured. So here, in things to know, a table is given in which the total number of male and female is given, and also the literacy rate per 100 persons. Literacy rate of male and female is given. You can go through this once. So the next box is about top 5 districts in the terms of literacy. So here the districts are given: Ahmedabad, Surat, Anand, Gandhinagar and Kheda. The total percentage of the population which is literate is given, and the questions are given. You can solve the questions from the same. Occupational structure. Any person in the country is engaged in any kind of economic activity is included in occupational structure. In order to live, in order to earn the livelihood, people are engaged with the economic activities. And when any person is engaged in any kind of economic activity, they are included in the occupational structure. This occupational structure is divided into earning population and dependent population. The earning population is consistently increasing due to rapid industrialization in country, and hence the occupational structure is divided into two main types. The earning population. See, the name itself suggests the population which are earning their livelihood are considered as earning population. And dependent population, the population who don't go for earning but are dependent on the other person's economic help, economic earning, then such persons are considered as dependent population. The earning population is consistently increasing due to rapid industrialization in country, and hence due to the industrialization the ratio of earning population is consistently increasing. Now let's see change in population composition. Change in the population composition are of two types. The first one is quantitative change and the second one is qualitative change. Sometimes we notice rise or fall in the population. This happens due to the population growth and migration of people. The conditions leading to the quantitative change are landlessness, low per head land ratio, urbanization, as well as social and administrative reasons. So, what are the quantitative changes? We may notice that many a times in a particular area there is a rise or a fall of population. Many a times it may happen that in some particular area the ratio of the population is much higher compared to the other areas, and hence there is a rise and fall in the population. This happens because of population growth and also the people which migrate from one place to another. The main reasons behind the migration is the quantitative changes such as landlessness. That means those particular person are owning no land in that particular area, and hence that is the reason why those people migrate. Low per head land ratio. That means it may happen that many a times some persons are holding the majority part of the land, but the other persons are having very low ratio of holding those land. Urbanization, as well as social and the administrative reasons. Now let's look at the quantitative changes. The changes observed in the level of health and education indicate qualitative changes. It alters the way of thinking and behavior as well as style and the standard of living. The other factors responsible for the qualitative changes are dedication, hard work, patriotism, enthusiasm, courage, etc. These factors bring about socio-cultural changes. So, what are the qualitative changes? The changes which are observed in the health and education, and also when the people are much aware about the qualitative life, they start to observe a kind of change in their lifestyle as well as the standard of living, and hence in order to achieve those qualitative standards, dedication, hard work, patriotism, etc. are responsible, and hence they also bring about the socio-cultural changes. My dear students, here we are at the end of today's video. In the very next class, we will further continue with the rest portion of the chapter. So till then, thank you and have a nice day.